Okay.
Oh, my name is
Yeah, mine is too. It doesn't come up on my Wait, no, I'm not gonna see that.
I was just asking.
Would you prefer me to be there?
Hey, I'm sure this too.
I mean, clearly you are. Yeah. See my Slack?
No, I didn't.
Did you get the R6 for this?
Yeah.
That's bad because loud. So that's
Okay. Extra.
okay, never mind. But that was annoying.
Oh, you are?
Why did she take it?
It's just she.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was it.
She couldn't come in there, but it's what happened. Yeah, she didn't tell me until after. I could do it. This is great, actually. This means that we're going to be compared notes. See who's closer. This is going to be good.
All right. No, never mind, Charles there.
Doesn't mean I'll.
That's good.
Oh, you like, how do you, oh, you guys control.
I'm just gonna have some fun, rent my day. Rent my day.
Are you gonna do some area?
So we better be careful what the base will say.
So we don't own any single land.
She's up there. Yep. Green hat.
Oh, I see. Okay, I think that's okay.
They're so quiet, I feel like I'm in a library or something. Why everybody's so quiet? You came in, everybody quieted down. Top 50 big shots in the state of Illinois, right here.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's why you live there. Yeah, well, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, I get that.
And her baby's about the same age as your baby. I mean, your baby's probably about 6 months or something.
Well, me too. So, and they have before, so.
Well, yeah, one of the school board did.
I know.
I was the only elected that was against it. All the electors were with the other gal. I'm sorry, with Jen.
I wouldn't care.
The girl that ran against her only had me, and that's it. And everybody else was just like, yeah, we turn out to be, if you ask her, she'd probably say, no, help me more, supporting me. No, and then it's like, look, there's nothing personal. It's just like, I said, well, my union bags, that's what I'm going with. And local two back there, and I back there, and that was it. Everybody else, all the other unions, whatever, the Alders, or all that stuff. And then now, Jen said, we should get Michelle to run again.
Yes.
I agree. You know, they may be well-meaning. I don't doubt that.
Bring that thing.
Some people.
That thing, you know, the thing I'm talking about.
Professional to bring it, but what the? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, right. And Vermont. Saw the list. Wow, that's some labor. I used to come home from work at night.
Being a good soldier.
Work a late job. and come back. I don't get hot easy anymore. Where's the drum roll?
Yo, what's going on?
It's quiet, like we're in a library.
Yeah, that's a whole.
First mayor to come here in a long time.
Yeah. Very good.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome my colleagues, Mayor Brandon Johnson, and our animal care advocates to the 12th Ward. Our ward is lucky to host Chicago Animal Care, an amazing city asset that services all the people and especially the animals that we love. With my adopted doggie of 6 years at home, I know how life-changing and critical this work is for our families. Early in my term, in 2024, I was able to join CACC for their ribbon cutting and unveiling of their brand new lobby to support their adoptions and reunifications. Late 2025, City Council's Health Committee, run by Alderwoman Rodriguez Sanchez, held a subject matter hearing with the CACC department and advocates to discuss the animal care services the city provides. Today, I am grateful to join City Council members in financially elevating the great work done by CACC through our 2026 budget, uplifting Sue Capello and her leadership, and highlighting the community engagement in each of our wards that we are all gratefully being a part of. So without further ado, I welcome Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Thank you, Alder Ramirez, and good afternoon, everyone. I am grateful to be here today, and thank you all for being here today on this exciting day for Chicago, especially for our city's pets, wildlife, and the millions of Chicagoans who love them and cherish them. I do again want to thank the incredible team that's assembled here today, Alders Ramirez, Rodriguez Sanchez, Robinson, Spizzato, our CACC Commissioner, Ramona Griffin. And earlier this month, I announced my appointment of Susan Capello as the Executive Director of Chicago Animal Care and Control. Today, we are here to formally recognize her appointment and highlight the performance and progress that we have achieved under her direction and my administration. First, allow me to formally congratulate Susan and thank her for her commitment to our city, its people, and of course, its animals. Susan brings more than 36 years of public service experience with the city of Chicago to this role, including leadership experience with CACC and across city government. She led the department through an extended acting period marked by historic intake levels, staffing, challenges, as well as increased public attention. Her leadership provided stability and accountability, particularly at a critical time, so that intake, medical care, field response, and daily shelter operations could continue without disruption. Between 2023 and 2025, intake increased by nearly 5,000 additional cats and dogs. Higher food and veterinarian costs have led more Chicagoans to make the tragic decision to relinquish their animals, contributing to this intake growth at CACC. And that's one more reason why my administration's focus on affordability is so important. Despite the sustained pressure CACC is making, and it's great progress, the transfers to rescue partners reached the highest total in more than a decade. Euthanasia rates remained flat from 2024 to 2025, even as intake continued to rise. And excitingly, adoptions reached the highest level in department history in 2025. Together, this data represents a citywide commitment to compassion, care, and a clear focus on life-saving outcomes. And still, there's more that we can do to improve operations and support the animals and staff at Chicago Animal Care and Control. And so through the fiscal year 2026 budget, my administration, working alongside of aldermanic champions, Rosana Rodriguez-Sanchez, Jesse Fuentes, Lamont Robinson, thank you for Alders Ramirez, we were able to improve and increase funding for CACC by roughly $660,000. This represents an almost 10% increase in the budget after decades of underinvestment. Thank you all for your leadership. We believe that investing in CACC is essential to our mission to invest in people because animals are essential to the emotional, social, and mental well-being of our residents. This investment will support staffing, operations, and the continued ability to respond to high community demand and provide the care that our city's animals deserve. And with this funding commitment and Susan's appointment today, we solidify our commitment to serving Chicago and building a compassionate city. So I'm confident that Susan will continue to lead CACC to success with professionalism, accountability, and dedication. And thank you to Susan and the entire CACC team for overseeing 3 years of life-saving work and progress. I look forward to our continued work together. And with that, you all, please welcome to the podium the newly appointed Executive Director for the Chicago Animal Care and Control, Ms. Susan Capello.
So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson, for your leadership and collaboration in accelerating our progress at Chicago Animal Care and Control. And thank you for your faith in my leadership. Thank you as well to our aldermanic leaders and all of our partners who continue to support us. Chicago Animal Care and Control is a high-volume municipal shelter. Animals arrive every day, often in crisis, and our responsibility is to serve both people and pets with compassion, professionalism, and accountability. Over the last 3 years, intake at the shelter has increased significantly. Between 2023 and 2025, nearly 5,000 additional cats and dogs entered our care. That pressure is real and constant. Despite that, our team achieved record outcomes, the highest number of adoptions in department history, the highest number of transfers to our rescue partners in more than a decade. And then euthanasia did not rise proportionately and remained essentially flat year over year. These results belong to our staff, our volunteers, rescue partners, and community members who show up for this work every day. The 2026 budget increase, thanks to the steadfast support of Mayor Johnson and Alders Rodriguez-Sanchez, Fuentes, Robinson, Spazzato, is a critical intervention. It allows us to add positions in customer service, animal care, public safety, and shelter programming, helping stabilize staffing, strengthen daily operations, and expand life-saving pathways while meeting the realities of municipal intake. I am honored to step into this role and honor the trust that Mayor Johnson has placed in me by committing to transparency, data-driven decision-making, and continued progress for the City of Chicago. Lastly, I want to acknowledge every commissioner for Animal Care and Control who came before me. I said I wasn't going to do this. I wouldn't be here without their support, especially Mamadou Diakate, our previous executive director who passed away recently. Mamadou gave over 20 years of service to animal welfare in Chicago, and he will be remembered fondly by all of us who had the privilege of working alongside of him. I apologize for that, and thank you so much for coming out today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rosana Rodriguez Sanchez. I am the alderperson of the 33rd Ward and the chair of the Committee on Health and Human Relations. I'm very proud to be here today. We all know that care work is undervalued. And when it comes to animals, they can't really advocate for themselves. So it is incumbent upon us to do the best that we can to protect them. I am very proud that this administration, alongside my committee, my vice chair, Alderwoman Julia Ramirez, work very diligently with community. This administration is very committed to working with community. And we were able to advocate for more funding, and we know how needed that funding is at this moment so that this work can continue. I'm so grateful for all of the staff here at the shelter. I am so grateful for all the volunteers and for all of the people who have come to advocate so that this work can continue. And I'm looking forward to continue to work with Sue and with community so we can continue to advocate for better conditions for all the animals in Chicago. Thank you. And now I'm going to call on Alderman Robinson.
Good afternoon, Alderman Lamont Robinson of the 4th Ward. It's certainly great to be back here. I was here about 2 years ago, and one of my most prominent social media posts was on adopting and making sure that our residents know that they can come here to be able to pick up an additional family member here at Chicago Animal Care and Control. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the hard-working staff of this great institution. Let's please give them a round of applause. The City of Chicago continues, Mr. Mayor, to be the forefront of how we take care of all of the residents. And I want to thank you for making sure that we have great leadership here. And Susan, congratulations again to you. And then secondly, it is the reason why we put more funding into this department. Again, we have to make sure that we protect all citizens, including our four-legged citizens here in the city of Chicago. I would also like to add that we have a director that gets it. 36 years in this field, not only managing staff, but also managing and working with community partners. And so again, we are extremely appreciative of your leadership and you stepping up to the charge for a great organization in the city of Chicago. And so again, I want to thank you and also recognize my colleagues that are here with me today. We all understand how important this agency is, again, to the citizens of Chicago. Thank you very much for your support. I would like to ask my colleague who will be speaking next, Alderman Sposato. Alderman?
Thank you, Lamont. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Happy to be here. I've been an alderman for Nick Sposato, alderman of the 38th Ward. I've been an alderman for about 15 years now, and I came to know Sue. I think first got to meet you, I don't even know if you remember, it was one of my animal rescues. So kind of started off early in my career with animal rescues. They have their challenges here, and I was all ready to pitch in and help with some rescues to try to get some animals rescued. I do come here fairly regularly. I just dropped off a SUV load of blankets and towels and corks and toilet paper tubes and everything for the animals. So try to get here once a month with the goodies. They do have their challenges. I do have friends that work here, and we blast in our email every week. We blast an animal of the week from here. So I get an animal from a volunteer over here, gives me an animal to recommend. And the main thing is it creates awareness that people know there are so many good animals here. And there's one of them right there. Bismarck, I believe is his name. Well-behaved, great dog, looking for a home. They think they have a home for him. But consider rescuing a dog. There's a ton of good animals here. But I'm just happy here to support the mayor and Sue, longtime friend, I guess we could say now. Sue, you do a great job, and I look forward to all the good things you're going to continue to do. And I'm glad we're able to give you. And I thought it was 700,000, not 660. But maybe we cheated you 40,000. But best wishes, keep up the good work, and honored to be here. Thank you, buddy.
Good afternoon, Steve Dale with WGN Radio. Mayor, it is great to see you here. It has been a long time since a mayor has come to this particular city department. I may be the only one in the room who recalls when this facility was called the City Pound. I'm not suggesting I'm old by any means, but that is the case. It was operationally run by someone they called the dog catcher, a former Chicago police officer who meant well, but boy, times have changed. I've seen Chicago Animal Care and Control and the amazing impact, mostly because the executive directors and so many others have made, and how the nonprofit Friends of Chicago Animal Care and Control has made an influence as well. I can rattle off the names of those positive impact executive directors: Dr. Gene Mueller, Ann Kent, Sandra Alfred, Susan Russell, Kelly Gandersky, and the most recent passing of Dr. Mamadou. And for at least much of that time, Sue Capello was here and contributing. And the difference she's made with her staff and volunteers in recent years is absolutely, from where I sit, which is kind of Switzerland, is undeniable. Targeting Chicago Animal Care and Control when people give up more animals than there is space for is irrational. Let's do a better job of addressing the various explanations for people relinquishing their beloved family members in the first place. That's where the problems are. They include the economy, housing issues, affordability of veterinary care, and dog and cat behavioral issues. Paws Chicago is now offering resources, social workers intervening, professionals, as people say, I want to give up my animal. I need to give up my animal, because the truth is no one wants to give up their animal. At least very few people do. Anti-cruelty continues to spare our city by also being open admission. And the city's other shelters, even up to DuPage County, and also additional rescue partners have come to the rescue. But at the end of the day, there is only so much space. That's what we need to address. Juggling all of this is not easy, and Sue and her staff have managed to do that, sometimes unfairly under fire. You may have noticed who's here behind me, a guy named Brandon Johnson, the mayor. Pets are part of the family. They are a part of Chicago and the fabric of Chicago. And he promised he would do this to me, for the city. And in fact, he's done it. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for caring about animals. But in doing so, what you are doing is caring about families. And Sue, you are incredible. You are a treasure in Chicago. And I thank you and your staff and volunteers for all that they do. Thank you. And now I believe I'm introducing you, Ramona Griffith, here from the Commission of Chicago Animal Care and Control.
Thank you. you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Mayor
afternoon.
Brandon, thank you, thank you. I can see the human animal well-being is very strong in here today. Love that. I'm the current commissioner, but I'm also a longtime volunteer at Chicago Animal Care and Control. Today, speaking from a volunteer perspective. I volunteered with CACC for 13 years under 4 executive directors, and I've seen the most positive change under Sue and the mayor's leadership. Thank you. You've heard and seen the results. Adoptions are up. Transfers are up, even despite historic highs in owner surrenders. Now that's because Sue is an animal advocate that drives positive action, and she is receiving support today from the mayor and these members of City Council. Thank you. Under Sue's leadership, we've implemented a number of positive changes, including greater transparency and engagement with the Chicago community via social media. We've implemented a full-time assistant adoption manager in partnership with Paws Chicago. And in partnership with Friends of Chicago Animal Care and Control, we've introduced the first of its kind outdoor microchip scanner in Chicago. So please take a look when you go out and check it out. But we still have a lot of work to do here, and we are continuously improving. One initiative we've been working on is getting more dogs out for walks every day. Dog walks are handled exclusively by the volunteer community. We've implemented a successful incremental volunteer-led program called Pavilion Out. Under Sue's leadership, we've currently in the process of piloting an expansion. Expect to see a post on social media in March, so stay tuned, everyone. Sue not only has the experience, but along with her team has the compassion. I've personally seen their tears through people and animals needing help and resources. And I've also witnessed their joy in seeing dogs getting adopted and people getting help. But it's going to take all of us to continue working together. Volunteers, community, rescues, positive partnerships, commissioners, aldermen, and the mayor's office. So I'm grateful and in full support of the mayor appointing Sue to the permanent executive director position. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Our next speaker is Celine from Paws Chicago.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Celine Milcarrick, and I am the Chief Program Officer for Paws Chicago, a partner organization to CACC for the last 3 decades. And I'm here today to express support for Susan Capello's appointment to Executive Director of Chicago Animal Care and Control by Mayor Johnson. Since stepping into the interim director role in 2023, Sue has provided steady, experienced leadership during one of the most challenging periods for animal welfare agencies nationwide. Under her leadership, CACC has made measurable, data-driven progress despite rising intake and reduced resources. 2025 marked CACC's highest adoption year in history, with 3,626 cats and dogs placed into homes, a 20% year-over-year increase. Transfers increased 22% in 2025, with 8,848 animals transferred to local shelters and rescue partners, the highest level in a decade. And the save rate reached 78.1% in 2025, up from 76.8% in 2024. Over the past several years, Chicago's animal welfare community has demonstrated that when CACC and local shelters can work together, measurable progress follows. Sue has strengthened those partnerships expanded life-saving programming, and leveraged private resources to support public funding. Her approach has brought stability and alignment across Chicago's animal welfare system in a time when consistency is critical. We are so appreciative of Sue's leadership and look forward to continuing our life-saving partnership. Thank you.
We'll now open it up to questions. We're going to do on-topic questions first, starting with Melody.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
So yes, according to CACC's data, adoptions are increasing, especially for cats. The same cannot be said for dogs, unfortunately. And the euthanization rates for dogs, yes, has remained stable in terms of percentage, but technically the number is increasing as volume increasing in the shelter. So can you talk to how your administration still considers that successful?
Well, I'm going to pass it over to Sue. I mean, look, you cannot, argue the fact that adoption rates are up as well as, of course, transfers. Now, in terms of the volume that we have taken up, particularly at a time in which we are experiencing an affordability crisis across the globe, I think that speaks to the success of what we're doing. Sue?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for that question. And as the mayor said, it really is about looking at the full picture, right? When people are bringing animals in, the surrender rates are going up, owner surrenders are increasing. Those animals, we only have limited space, so we do rely a lot on our transfer groups. Transfers are also up, so I don't have those exact numbers in front of me, but we can look at those and really get an observation out on how those numbers do look. But again, just because dog adoption rates didn't rise, it doesn't mean dog transfer rates didn't rise.
Follow-up question to the transfer rates. Some of the transfer partners that are not represented here today do have significant concerns about not being able to bring dogs into their facilities that are not 100% healthy, and say that's gotten worse over the past 3 to 5 years. What's your response to that?
So again, as I said earlier, we are a large municipal shelter. Our doors are open to everything that comes in. We do take sick animals on a regular basis. Sometimes animals stay here too long and can get sick. We don't have the option of closing our door and saying, we're not going to take those today. Do this, do that. We don't have that option. So we take the animals regardless. We do our best. We have a full medical staff here doing their best with all of the animals. And again, large shelter, large population. If you'd like, we can walk through afterwards. I'm happy to show you how many we actually have. Open to all of y'all. But with that sheer number of animals, you're going to have illness. It's going to happen. And we, again, our medical staff is on top of that. They look at it as much as they can. We do what we can.
Steve, you want to add something to
Yeah,
that?
can I think?
I just want to, for the record, Steve's going to add to it. I think I was the only candidate that came on his show on Sunday to talk about animals, so I think that's true. But here, Steve, go ahead. You want to add to that?
Not exactly, but
All
that's
right.
okay. That's okay.
I'm the only one who won.
That would be true. Who knew that 10 years ago when everyone was saying, I wish we could adopt more cats? Now that cats are leading the way. And being on the board of the Every Cat Health Foundation, as well as other boards, I'm thrilled about that. The dog problem, specifically for large dogs, greatly has to do, we think, with a couple of things. With housing, for one. So many places say, you can have a dog, but you have to pay X amount of dollars more, which people may not be able to afford if the dog is over, fill in the blank, 30 pounds, whatever that might be. That's one issue. The other is they may not allow dogs that are over a certain weight. And the idea there, greatly, to be honest, is they want to restrict dogs that you and I would look at and say that's a pit bull. They're in fact only mixed breed dogs in reality. But that's a national issue. It's not only a Chicago issue. And there are lots of individuals that are working to try to do something about it. Also, we have more multi-dog homes than ever before, and it costs a lot more for veterinary care for simply dog food to feed 3 dogs, as dogs happily were adopted in huge numbers during the pandemic. And now people, they're looking at how much money they can have in their pocket and have in their pocket. No offense to that dog right there.
How you doing, Mayor Johnson?
I'm doing well, thank you.
more than a dozen members of City Council sent a letter to you asking that you launch a nationwide search for a new executive director for this facility, and a number of people at the last City Council meeting expressed concerns about the working climate here and the conditions of dogs in that facility. Where do you, what's your view on where that feedback is coming from, and is this press conference your answer to the call for a nationwide search?
Well, look, of course, I'm always going to welcome feedback from City Council members. The fact that we have this amount of interest in something that, my administration from the very beginning has taken profound interest in how we treat our animals and what it means for the larger vision that I have of a safe and affordable city. Look, Sue's experience, really speaks for itself. 36 years city government, and what she's been able to do during very challenging times to provide real structure that sets us up to expand. Look, we invested more in this work than what people anticipated. Again, another $660,000. Apparently, Nick Spazzato voted for the budget, but didn't know that it was only 600. I'm sorry, I'm just joking. But yeah, look, we wouldn't invest the way we're investing if we didn't think we had strong, capable leadership here, and Sue is strong and capable.
And I asked Keith earlier if you were here to adopt a dog, and I actually don't know the answer to this question. Does the Johnson family have pets, or?
Yeah. So, believe it or not, we are the proud home of birds, and my son is leaving for college in a few months. And Sue, we might be coming to visit you. No, I'm teasing. We're not going. He didn't think about that when he wanted those birds, and so now we're going to adopt my son's birds, and we're just going to cut the middle person out. There's been some discussion about a dog in my family, and I gave them a very clear parameters. I said, if we get a dog, I get to name it. And the name that I provided, they didn't approve of it, so we don't have a dog. If they accept the name of the dog, what's the name? Brother Jenkins. What else? You like that name, don't you? My kids didn't. If we can name the dog Brother Jenkins, then we're getting the dog. In the meantime, we got birds. All right, do you want to add something to that, Nick?
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to add, so I know you're talking about the letter.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is a positive thing, so I hate to get into the negatives, but that letter was a little bit uninformed, some of those people. A lot of people didn't even realize that Sue was appointed a week earlier. They're like, we need a director over here. So that's what a lot of it was about. I contend if I circulated a letter at the next meeting, I'd be pretty damn close to, 45 aldermen signing on saying, Sue's doing a great job. So it was a little bit of a misunderstanding, I think. They have to talk to the circulators about it. I did talk to some people about it that were uninformed. That somebody was appointed already. So this has been an empty seat, not an empty seat. She's been acting for a little longer than I would like to have seen, because I know the challenges of this job. So happy to be able to afford to give her more money to do more things. And yes, I am a proud owner of a dog. And a former director over here, we said we're not going to call them pit bulls anymore. We're going to call them Chicago dogs. So yeah. I did rescue a Chicago dog that I've had now for 8.5 years. This April will be 8.5 years, so great dog. So there's a ton of great dogs here. I recommend if anybody's looking, watching, get yourself a dog. A lot of awesome dogs over here. So
and cats.
And cats, yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Right here, Mayor.
All right, Christian Farr, NBC5 News. Mayor, just to kind of piggyback on this question, in terms of Sue's leadership, talking to those particular alder people that sent that letter out, they questioned if she had the experience to run this facility. Can you speak a little bit more to that, and also kind of speak to the, I don't know if Sue can speak to the euthanasia rates, because I was told that they were up, but they say they're flat. If you could just let us know where we can find that.
I'll pass it to Sue, and you can offer that perspective again. The rate did not change. Simply, there was a just greater volume of animals that have come through this facility. Look, 36 years of city government experience. I don't 25 here. I don't know what's motivating that type of rhetoric, but to dismiss, nearly 40 years of government experiences, there's no explanation for that you can even offer up. And you think about the transition coming out of the pandemic, a new administration. You know, Sue and I have gotten a chance to know each other well. All of our cabinet meetings, she's been right there in the forefront, and not just contributing to animal care, but contributing to the wholeness of our city. You know, she's not one-dimensional. She understands the relationship between her job and mental and behavioral health. She understands the relationship between her job and community safety and affordability. And that's the full force of government on display. And that's a transformational way to think about government. I mean, you have, you know, I'm just going to name it. You have Nick Sposato and Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez in agreement. I mean, I'm just saying, you can't ask for a more balanced approach. So, and I'll be working on those two in the coming months for other things that I'm going to need both of their agreement on. But truly, that's a remarkable testament to Sue, right? And so I just hope that these other alders who have called into question her remarkable leadership in her time at City of Chicago, I just hope that they go back and review the information. So you want to speak again to euthanasia?
Sure. So yeah, euthanasia rates. Just a little background, when I first started at Animal Care and Control in 1991, as Steve said, we were called the dog pound. That's what it was. So I started here for a couple years and went to another department and came back in 2002. So those are my numbers. But euthanasia rates back then, we were taking in 24,000 to 25,000 animals. We were euthanizing 19,000 to 21,000 of those animals. This was literally the last stop for any animal. So to come today and say, wow, last year we euthanized 6,742, not the exact number, to me is amazing. It took a long time, but it still is amazing. Clearly, we took in 5,000 extra animals over the last 2 years. The numbers, the physical numbers look up, but if you compare them year to year, we're still running flat. And that's what we look at here, and that's a win for us. Thank you.
Sue, can I say something? Can I jump in again?
Because
Sorry to rain on your parade, man.
No, go ahead, Nick. You're having a good time today.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah,
I
me
invite
too.
my cameramen friends, my reporter friends, stick around here at 3 o'clock. Stick around from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Over 50 animals a day come through this place. Can you imagine the challenges of that? Can you imagine the heartbreak of some people, the cold hearts of some others too, but people crying. They get 50 a day. I mean, without our partners here helping, taking other rescues, taking them on, I don't know how they could do it. It's a real challenge. But stick around, 3 o'clock, the doors open, the floodgates open at 3, whatever you want to say, where people are coming in here bringing more animals every day. 7 days a week, Sue? 7 days a week. So that's all I wanted to say. Stick around a little longer and video some stuff and see what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman.
Hi, Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
Hi.
Question for the mayor and for Sue too. Accounting for some of the criticism, euthanasia rates, and some sick dogs, what is your goal for improvement in this new permanent position?
So the goal for improvement here is to get, so I'm sure everybody has heard that some of our dogs that are here, 240, I'm looking at Art, but he's not looking at me, around 240 dogs here. He knows our population back of his hand. How to get them all out of their kennel at least once a day, right? Some of our dogs don't leave the kennel but once a week. That is not sufficient. All of the dog walking, as Ramona had mentioned, are done by our volunteers. Again, 13 years as a volunteer here. She knows what the volunteers are doing, what they want to do, how we want to move forward. So goal is, and I'm going to give it away a little bit, Ramona, sorry. Okay. Every dog, every day. Every dog gets a walk every day. That can only help, right? The fresh air, the outside, the interaction with people, make them more adoptable, make them more visible, right? So that's our goal for this year, and that's a big one. Okay, thank you.
So we need more volunteers, you all.
Yes.
We need more volunteers, and I want to give a special shout out to my son. I'm giving him a hard time, but he loves animals, and he is a volunteer. He and my wife with Paws, and so I'm encouraging him to encourage his friends to do the same. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Suzanne Haney with Streetwise. The number of advocates asked for a nationwide search. Is that still a possibility with the subordinate position? And is that position going to be filled?
Well, I mean, I think with Sue's leadership at the top, you know, I'm one that allows for that autonomy to exist within my administration to help identify individuals that are going to be most suited. Sue knows staffing. She knows my vision for the city of Chicago. And so if there are individuals in the city of Chicago or beyond that meet the criteria, the expectation, and the goals that are being set by this entity of government, that's the best person that will be suited for that position, regardless of where they live. But I always bet on Chicago. I do.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, is that everybody? One last, okay. Yep.
Good afternoon and congratulations to you, Sue. Good job. I know we're allowed 2 questions, but I really want to know what kind of birds your son has. I mean, is this a lifelong commitment, like a cockatiel,
That's
or are we talking
funny.
parakeets?
I feel embarrassed now.
Or a finch?
I'm gonna sound really bad here. I just know one is blue and one is white. Sorry. Yeah, so I'll have to ask. Can you text my wife and ask her, Darius, for real? Because now that she's gonna be in charge of them anyway, she might as well get used to it.
All right, so the Chicago Park District recently asked for $630 million to turn Soldier Field into a concert venue. Does this mean you've conceded the fact that the Bears might be going to Arlington Heights or to Hammond, Indiana?
No, not at all. Look, first of all, those 2 locations, they're not Chicago. They pale in comparison to who we are, what we represent, and what we stand for globally. You know, what I've said repeatedly is that not only, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but not only do they belong in the city of Chicago, the $900 or so million that has been presented to Arlington Heights, if the city of Chicago has that type of partnership and opportunity to come up with a plan to keep the Bears here in the city of Chicago, to unlock that entire campus, that's what Chicago deserves. We were not afforded that. In fact, that entire museum campus, it's the #1 destination for tourists anywhere in the state of Illinois. Unlocking that campus there can continue to build on the economic prowess of our city. We saw that more visitors came downtown in the history of Chicago this past summer. It was $900 million of revenue, $20 billion regional impact. That's saying a lot, particularly at the time in which we had the fewest amount of homicides over the summer in 60 years. So Chicago was the economic driver of this entire region, and being afforded a partner to devise a plan, I'm confident that we can unlock that entire space to continue to drive economic growth for our city and the region.
Okay, last question. Last night you were at the State of the Swamp
Yeah.
rebuttal to the State of the Union. And I know it was organized by Defiance.org. Did taxpayers pay for your trip there, or was this an official trip? And if not, couldn't you have done your rebuttal from here on social media?
I'm the mayor of the city of Chicago. I represent Chicago, and that is well within the parameters of my job. Like, I don't stop being mayor because the president of the United States of America can't figure out which direction that the country needs to go into. So no, everything that I do on behalf of the city of Chicago is a reflection on my ability to protect the people of this city. And whether that's here or anywhere else, that hat doesn't go off, or I don't take that hat off simply because I'm out of the city of Chicago. In fact, what was actually, on display last night, you saw people from around the country organizing around a collective vision to ensure that working people are prioritized. This administration, the Trump administration's sole focus is on big corporations and the ultra-rich. And Mayor Frey, Robert De Niro, and other key leaders around the country made our point emphatically clear, that in order for America to fully fulfill its promises for every single person, we have to prioritize everyday and working people. And I'm proud to stand in solidarity with people across this country who are demanding just that. All right, thank you all very much.
3 o'clock, everyone. Side door, as we were bringing them all in. Get some good interviews, some good footage.